Here we are in our city of over 700,000 citizens, and we're going to be talking about one of my biggest pet peeves of City Skylines 2, and that is this. It is the way that you deal with the mass transit in your city. When you turn on the transit overview, this is what you see, unless you come out of this menu, and then this is what you see. Half your screen covered by the transportation overview menu, and then, I mean, it's just, yeah, stuff absolutely everywhere. It's like an assault on the eyeballs. It's very, very difficult to see what is going on. Even if you go into this view, now all the lines are hidden. There are a load of lines in here. You have to get right in close. Oh yeah, look, there's some that are blue that are almost the same color as the road that you can't see. And it is very, very difficult to deal with these. And we've got a little fix that I'm going to put to you. And we're going to see whether this is going to be good, whether it's going to work, whether it's going to change how you view the game. One of the other things I hate as well is, like, we want to deal with a certain bus lines. We'll turn them all off. I mean, I'm deliberately not going to pick one that's blue because you know you can't see those. We'll pick a red one, number 6. Where's that one? So we'll go over here, have a look at that. Okay, yeah, I want to do a little bit of work on line number 6. It's actually now turned on all the other lines that were turned off. So if I want to go back to where I was before, I've got to then come back into here, go back into buses. They're all turned back on again. So the lack of ability to deal with all these different things, move this out of the way easily and still work with what's going on and actually see what's happening is just, yeah, mind-blowing for a game that is supposed to be, you know, I don't know what percentage you would say dealing with mass transit is of the game, but pretty high. This is the underground view. I just find that extremely difficult to work with all the transportation stuff on. Even without the transportation stuff on, it's just like black on grey. Very, very difficult. So we'll see whether there's something we could do about that. Also, the other thing is, when you turn on all of this, if you want to sort of narrow down what you're looking at, we need a toggle to turn it all off. So I want to go through and get what I want. I've got to go through and do all of that, and then find the one I want, which is bus stops. But now all our lines have disappeared, so we've now got to go back into here, and for some reason all the lines have disappeared. Am I still underground? No. That's underground. I don't know where all the lines have gone. Oh, I've got to turn the lines on. There's another one. So where do we find that? Train track, subway track. Is there even one in here for light? It's just, I don't know how many times I've used this, and it's just, yeah. Surely one of these is actually line. See, wait, roads? Put the roads back on. Okay, roads is helpful. Oh, anyway, deep breath. I think you get what the problem is. So we are going to use a couple of mods that are going to really help with how this all works, how this looks, but also can help us take a really good overview of an entire city's transportation network and help you make good decisions, because we really want to start getting some of these problems here. Not enough customers, high resource costs. We have some traffic, we have some trash problems really taken care of. And a lot of that is down to the traffic, and having your mass transit sorted is one of the biggest ways to deal with all of the traffic. So let's dive in and take a look. So the first mod we're going to take a look at is Better Transit View, and this is from GNZN Roses, the same person that makes Traffic Spy, which we've made good use of. And on Sky, this is available on PDX Mods. You can add that to your play sets, and basically this is how it works. So if we just press the key that I've got set to open it up, which you can change in your settings, there we go, we get the transit overview. And first of all, I noticed that it's all over here to the left instead of taking up half the screen like we had before. Nice and bright colors, easy to see, and immediately this is looking much, much better to me. I like it. So at the minute, this has got all the transit views turned on. So if we look at the top left here, we've got bus, train, subway, tram. There's no ferries and some cargo as well. We can click this button here and make the map grey if we wish, like we've had before. So at least you do have that option if you wish to make it easier to look at. But even like this, I find it very easy to use. I'm liking that a lot. We can turn the stops on and off if that makes it easier. There we go. We can toggle those on and off, zoom out a little bit, and there we go. Excellent. And if we have a look in here, we'll take this stop for instance. We can see it's got the yellow and the green colour on because these lines are both sharing that stop there. I don't know quite what happens if we get 3 lines sharing a stop, whether you get 3 colours. Let's just scroll around and have a look. 2 colours, 2 colours. I mean, we could probably test that a bit later as we go along. But yeah, you get the idea. So that is the overview, and I much prefer the way that looks. And then also we can, with one click, toggle the whole lot off. There we go, it's gone. So now if I wish to just look at my bus lines, we toggle just that tab. That's my bus lines. If I just want to look at the train lines, we just do the train lines. You see how this is, infinitely better, infinitely better. I do like that a lot. Makes it much easier. We can toggle that tab, and then we can toggle the whole lot back on as we wish. So we have options of what we're going to do, which is good. Okay, we have a little button here that says tool. I'm going to show you what that does. So let's toggle everything off, and then we're in the bus tab. So we're going to toggle just the buses on, like so, and then we can do that test we were talking about. So we've got a yellow line here, and we've got a blue line here, and they're close together. So the yellow and the purple use that stop, and the blue and the purple use this stop. We click this, it automatically opens the tool page. So we can get the bus line tool, and I want to get the blue line that's here. So what we might just do is, which lines are these? So we've got bus line 5, we've got bus line 16 and 15. So 5, 15 and 16. So I'm going to do that, and we're going to find line 5, 15 and 16 in here. Now, one bit of feedback I would give to the mod maker is have the line names in here. I'm actually not entirely sure whether these lines are named in this city. So let's have a look. They're not. They've just got the basic name. But if it could take at least the bus line number as its name, that would be a lot easier. So let's come out of that view. There we go. So what we're going to do is click the tool, and then we're going to grab bus line 15, and we're going to drag that into that stop there. It does. There we go. So we get extra colors if there's more lines using that stop. That is really handy. Excellent. That is very, very good. And then if we look up here, we can sort our lines by the name, which I'm not quite sure how it's doing that, as they've all got the same name at the moment. Hopefully that'll be sorted. We can sort it by our usage. So along here, we've got the length, we've got the number of stops, the amount of buses, the amount of people, and the percentage usage. So we've got usage, and we'll just click that the other way. There we go. So that line is 41% used. So we could just double check that as compared to our bus lines here. Sort by usage, 41%. There we go. So that would have been bus line number 2. There we go. And as well as sorting by the usage, we can sort it by the amount of vehicles that we have in use, which is very handy. We have how many passengers are being used on there. So that's the most, well, not the most used line, but yeah, we've got 18 buses there. So it's a lower percentage, but lots of people on that one. The most distance covered and how many stops, which has got the most stops. That's got the most stops, but nobody's using it. But we've got 6 buses wasted on there. So yeah, some really helpful information that we can get from this bus line tool. And then of course we can do that with the train, with the subway, the tram, the ferry, and the cargo if you had those as well, which is very handy. Let's just look at the usage on the subway. So none of them are oversubscribed, but we've got a few that are undersubscribed. I mean, immediately what I would do is take out, let's just stay at the top and do that. Take out any that aren't being used. I don't think we've got horrendous traffic in the city in many spots. So if the whole thing was traffic congested, I would not start adjusting my bus lines, because it could be that it's the fact that there's traffic is why they're not going around picking people up. But other than that little spot there, we've got a little bit of a spot here, but this is an industry, and if I remember correctly, there's no bus lines coming up here anyway. No bus lines coming through there, so that's not going to make any difference. And around this way, we've got a little bit of traffic down here, but that's just by a cargo terminal, and again, no buses going through there. Oh, it's so easy to just flick this on and off. Yep, no bus routes going through that traffic. So definitely those routes with 0 usage can be removed. Any more traffic? So there's traffic down here. Nope, no routes going through that. And no routes going through that. Okay, well, there wasn't traffic there anyway. That's the traffic I saw. Yeah, that's fine. So if we open this back up again, look at our bus line tool. We've got it sorted by usage 0. We can click this and actually look at these lines. And oh my goodness me, there's a whole load of buses on there. And I'm going to go through and just delete these ones that have no use at all. Actually, another little bit of feedback. Maybe that can be made easier in the mods. In here, I can just do it with 2 clicks, which is good. Now, I know it's 4 in the morning, and there's not many people going to be taking the buses, but we are going to use another mod that's going to help us set up our transit routes much, much better, because this is just going all over the show. And there we go. That's the last one with the 0 usage. Let me just have a look at this. There's very low usage there. We've got 0 usage on this tram line, which I'm going to remove because the tram line is only in one spot, if I remember correctly. So we're going to toggle everything off. There we go. We'll go to our tram. We'll toggle that tab on. And that's it. So the other tram line was actually in here as well. I've got loads of overlapping tram lines. We're going to get to that and sort that out. So the ferry, cargo, yeah, that's fine. Excellent. So that's hopefully, let's just overview what we've got going on here. So we'll toggle everything off, just put our buses on. Yeah, so we can see already where there's some spots where we have no bus coverage. And what sort of seems to happen with the coverage that was put into the city by the creator, if we just look at our zones. Actually, can I leave this on? Let's turn that off there and go into here. No, okay, let's do it this way around. Let's toggle that off. Let's have a look at our zones. Just thinking the best way to do it so we can see all of our zones together. Yeah, do it like that and then put the mod on. There we go. Excellent. That is what I want to see. Right, so in here, we've got lots of bus routes that are going all around. I mean, it's not actually too bad. There's like huge sections that are just missing out. Oh, that was an autosave. Have a quick sip of tea. So everybody in this residential area here doesn't have any bus coverage. And then it's coming over to our commercial, which is good. All of this residential is missing out. There's no buses going into our industrial area. Well, people do have to get to work. And I think that's a recurring theme. All of the industrial area has no bus coverage. You've got one that goes through there and nothing down there. I mean, if we toggle those off and just take a look at our subway. Actually, let's toggle everything off and then we'll just put the subway on. There we go. And I might just do the grey map for this one. No, it's easier like this. So we've got subway over there, which is stopping in there, stopping over here, going around there and back again. Yeah, so there's some subway. I don't really feel like it's hitting the high spots. So we're definitely going to work on that as well. So what we're going to do, that is the first mod that we've been looking at. We're also going to take a look at a second mod. So that was a better transit view. The second mod we're going to be looking at is transit hotspots by, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Scion. So we'll click down here on the info view for transit hotspots. And we get this little box pop up. It's very small writing on here. So hopefully the mod maker can increase that for us. But I'm sure my editor is going to zoom right in there, as I'm going to do on my chair. So we want to start a recording. And when we start this recording off and run the game will make a note of all of the transit moves and the citizen trips that are captured during that session where we're running it. And then it can rank those hotspots for demand, so we can then make choices of where we want our transit. So what we're going to do is we're going to start the game going. I'm going to do speed 1. We're going to start recording and we're going to leave that running. And what we're going to start seeing, actually I can probably speed things up a bit. There we go, look. So suddenly we've got some demand hotspots that are popping up in various places. And if we just pause and zoom out, it's a little bit CPU intensive running this. There we go. Let's just have a look at that view there. There we go. Excellent. So let's keep the recording going. So already we can see some hotspots popping up with the darker red colors and that sort of thing here. And this is a very high density area. Level 5, lots of residents live in this area. So that is to be expected, I'll be honest. So I'm just going to run this for a few minutes and then we'll come back and look at the information it gives us and decide what we're going to do about it. Okay, I've had that running for a while and we've just dipped into the rush hour a little bit as well, but we can see where most of the hotspots are. I'm just going to pause the city so we can have a look around. So definitely these areas over here, oh, jumpy, where we've got larger areas of population, that just makes sense, doesn't it? So we really need to make sure they're covered. Got a couple of other little hotspots down here as well. This isn't too bad over here. I think, to be honest, with this area over here, there's a lot of people, but industries right nearby, commercials right nearby. So I think it's making the game jump a little bit, that we need to concentrate on these areas with our mass transit. Now, there's some interesting little things you can do here as well. We can toggle the stops on and off, although at the minute that really just doesn't help. That just gives us a load more blue lines, circles. So hopefully that will be sorted. And then we can also add in outside trips. Well, we're not going to do that. So why don't we find which is the highest demand? Man, I'm going to have to put on my reading glasses, my binoculars, my telescopes, and lean right over to read this. So this is the one that's got the most demand. We can click on that and it will turn all the others off and just show us that one, which is down here. So why has this one got the most demand? What can we see in this little spot? Well, first of all, let's see what sort of zoning we've got in here. So we'll click on this and yeah, we've got a lot of residential stuff going on here. We've got a lot of offices next to it as well. And we've got this building. Let's just see what that is. The Ember Suites. So we've got a few residents in there. So these buildings here, I've got lots of residents. 540, 665, 852. Yeah, so a few thousand people in this little spot there. We've also got, if we just have a look here, a college. So there's 1,500 people traveling into this area. Let's pop up the transit overview that we've had before. Make sure all of that is toggled off and just see what transit options we've got coming past here. So there is no buses in this area. There is a train that runs along the back, but that's underground. That's got no connections. And we have subway. We have one subway stop right there. Parking usage is full up, so you're hopefully hoping that people are going to walk there. And the usage, passengers waiting, 372, 102% usage. So it might just be that we can fix this by, I'm going to upgrade it so the comfort's a little bit better, so more people use it. And then on this line, we could maybe, let's just close that down so we can get here. We could maybe make a couple of little changes to it. Actually, we didn't have to close the transit overview. This is what I'm looking for here. So we've got 3 vehicles on there. I mean, I'm thinking maybe to have it come a little bit more often, we'll add 2 more vehicles on there and we'll see what difference that makes. Okay, let's go back over here to our transit overview. So that was the largest one. Where is the second largest one? So let's turn this one off and have a look at that one, and we'll zoom out and it's right nearby. Okay, so we could do a similar thing here. Let's take a look at the zoning. Again, most of it is residential. We've got a load of offices next to it. Okay, and then we'll just toggle everything off and just have a look. Do we have any buses through here? No buses through there whatsoever. I'm just then going to jump to the subway. We do have a subway line that goes through there. Let's close this one down. There we go. So it might be actually we could hook this suburb into this subway and that might help a little bit. And we could maybe take out one of these larger buildings on this side of the road. Okay, looking at the new city stations pack by Bad Peanut. I'm going to try this one, this small subway plaza, which I think is going to just fit in there. Excellent. And then we can, yeah, just hook this line up to there. Let me just do that off camera. There we go. Got that hooked up on either side, which is good. And then we're just going to make that stop in there. Brilliant. So is that just sort of going up and down in one direction? It looks like it is. And then it circles around over here. Which subway line is that? Subway line number 8. Again, we haven't got the names on there, which is a little bit annoying, but it might be, as there's only a few, we can find it. I mean, the last one. They're in the numerical order. I should have known that. Oh, no, that is not the one, is it? Oh, found it. It was a couple below. So it's going along here. It's scooting around there, connecting into that, going all the way down there, coming around here, and then back again. But what we don't have is one going in the other direction, which would be actually very handy. So let me just add one going in the other direction. I'll just do that off camera. And again, with this tool, it's so much easier just to have that one line on so I can follow it along while we're making our, oh man, that's loud, while we're putting our new line in, which without that mod would have been so much messing around and toggling and frustration and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, another win for the modders. Now, I'm not going to hold that against Ice Flake Studio. They are looking through the game, and as well as, oh, you are on the wrong side there, aren't you? So I'm going to do that, and then we'll swap you over in a minute. We're going to be back over this side again. Yeah, there we go. So as well as obviously fixing all sorts of things to do with the game, they are working on a lot of quality of life improvements as well. If I take that one off and move that over there. And then have I still popped that on the wrong side? Yeah, there we go. That is sorted. Fantastic. So that is now going to go around the other direction on that line, which should definitely help with that traffic hotspot there. I also noticed that as this goes around, there's that up there, there's this here, there's this huge built up area with no station in that is just crying out. Because if we toggle all of these back on again, look, we've got a whole load. This is the one I was looking at. A whole load that cross over in one spot. We need something right there. There we go. We're going to add a subway plaza in there again. It's going to be a little bit of interestingness trying to get this all hooked up. So let's just see what we can do. I'm just going to close that down for now. So what I'm hoping now is I've hooked both of these ends into the station. If I take off these unneeded bits, or this one here hasn't quite hooked up properly. Let's just make sure we get that right, hopefully. Yep, there we go. I'm hoping the lines have automatically jumped in. Yep, they have. Well, those ones have anyway. Where's the ones from the other side? Let's find those. They've all disappeared. Oh, they probably stopped down there. Okay, I'll bring those up and hook those in again. Okay, there we go. So they all hook into here. We can see that they're using the stops going in each direction. So that is definitely going to help with that. Right. Let's go back to our hotspots, which is the third largest hotspot. So that'll be this one here. Let's zoom out a bit. Oh, there we go. So we're actually almost very close to... Oh, man. Having this mod on makes the game jump around a bit. Just have to go with it for now. There we go. So that is very close to our second largest hotspot. Okay, so maybe what we've done already with our metro will help with that. I am just wondering if we can run a little bus route around there, although it's right next to it. So I think we'll just go with what we've done there, and that should be okay. There we go. So it was that one and that one. They're pretty much overlapping, aren't they? Okay. Okay, the fourth one jumps them up there to down here over the river. And we very carefully just zoom in on that. There we go. So we can see what's going on here. Let's just come out of that view and use this mod. So we do have some transit routes going around this area, but not actually going through the area. And I'm just sort of looking there. What have we got? So we toggle that off. So that is I'm going to say a subway. So we've got a subway connection right there that goes all the way round and up. I mean, I don't know, we could move that up, or we could just add a bus route in there that can help bring people down to the subway. Whether we bring that one in to come down this road and across there, that might actually help. Yeah, let's try that. So let's grab a bus stop. Let's use one of the nice new ones. Here we go. Architectural bus stop shelter. Which way are we going up? So we're going up on this bit of road here and then down there. If we get it right by the end, there we go. That is going to be on this corner, and then we use that tool. We're going to grab that and drag it into there. There we go. So that's going to go out and around, although it seems to have gone back on itself a bit. Hang on a second. That's because it's going up instead of down, so we need to put that on the other side of the road. Excellent. So let's grab it here, bring that up, drop it into there. There we go. So that cuts the corner instead, going through there. This one here is still covering this area. Let's just have a look. I mean, our subway is right there. So what I might do is, if I could see the stop thing. Is that it? It is. Very teeny tiny pole. I'm going to bring that all the way over here outside. Excellent. And do that. Hope our line is still hooked up. Yes, it is. Yeah, so maybe that will make enough of a difference there. I'm just wondering whether... I mean, these are all low density houses. I'm going to move this stop as well. Come on. There it is. And I'm going to move that into here. So it's outside the houses, but it goes up and around. Okay, so that'll be the wrong side of the street again. You think I would have learned from last time? Let's try this again. point and maneuver and pop over there. Sorry about your parking. There we go. Yeah, so that cuts through there instead and will hopefully take care of this transit hotspot as well. Okay, so there's the first 4 hotspots that we've done a little something to help. There's that one by the college, these 2 that were near each other, and that 4th one down here. I'm going to run this again and I'm going to see whether we've made any difference to the amount of trips that are taken in and out there. And we can see we've got the numbers on the top there. So I'm going to take a little screenshot of that, zoom in, enhance, get me binoculars on it, and we'll compare it to after I've run this transit hotspots for a second recording. So back in a minute or 2. Right, after a few minutes, we've had some changes. So the hotspot down here and up here have gone. This one, it's the lower of the 2 that was there. Let's just zoom in and take another look at this and see if we can help. And let's have a look at our transit. So yeah, what I'm thinking is, I mean, I don't know, there's a lot of people here. We've got this small subway right there. Is there anything else we could hook into? I mean, we do have, this is an underground train line, isn't it? If I toggle everything off. Oh no, it's an above ground train line. Okay, for some reason I thought it was underground because I couldn't see it. Could we like pop a station there? Because there's one over there. The next one is off the map somewhere else. Maybe we could do that and that might be a little bit of some help. Or could we run a bus through here is the other option. Maybe up and down that main street. We've got this bus route here. Where does that go? Oh, it's going all around this little neighborhood here. I am just wondering if something as simple as a path to get through here would make a difference, because if you're living up there, you're going all the way around the outside or cutting all the way through there. But there is actually some spots through the middle which we could make use of. I'm just wondering whether to pop in a pedestrian street. I don't actually know what the comfort is. The difference in comfort between a pedestrian street and a pedestrian path. Oh, it's in this tab here, isn't it? No, it's not in that tab there. Not using the same mod that puts it all together. Let's just go for a pavement path and run that through the middle here. Yeah, and these buildings are all too close together to squeeze it through. I know I anarchied that one through, but yeah, maybe just something like that. Let's just see whether that makes any difference. I'll just run through the thing again. Okay, just run it again for a few moments, and actually it's increased again, and we've got both of them popping up. I think what we're going to do is add a train station in here, which will take people in and out of the city. So let's do that. So we should be able to make a little bit of space here, because this piece of foggy highway, for some reason, just pops up above the surface and then goes back down again. So we really don't need that. So I'm going to take that away. We're going to pick this. We're going to pop down underground, and then we're going to connect that one with that one. And that's looking like it's going to be above ground. Let's try that again. And there we go. That worked much better. Fantastic. Right, what train station shall we use in here? I'm liking the look of this one from that same pack, the Sunken Bypass train station. So let's actually get rid of those rails there and see if we can... Oh, look at that. We'll get some different versions of that. If we toggle it. Okay, let's toggle like that. Yeah. And toggle again, we get a different color. Toggle again, we get a different color. Okay, yeah, I like this one. So I want to get that lined up against that road. With a little bit of space, we can get these lines connected again. Let me just do that. Okay, that's all hooked up at either side. We've got this rail route that's going through here. So I'm going to hook all of these in. Oh, what's this one under here? Oh, is that cargo? Yeah, that's cargo. So this is actually a bypass. So you can see the bypass goes through the middle, and then the ones that need to stop on the outside. So that's really cool. I'm liking that. We're going to need to get some roads and connections over here. What I'm hoping to do is trying to get the pedestrians to walk over the top of the highway. And to do that, we could use... Well, I was hoping to use 1 or 2 of these new pedestrian overpasses, but whereas they click to the side or snap to the side of a normal road, and that would work, when you do it like this, they snap, but if there's no zoning, it will complain about a road connection. So I think what I'm going to do instead is just use some of our normal pedestrian bridges and just have a connection this side and a connection this side as well. And then, of course, we've got the road to do as well. Okay, there we go. So we've got a couple of pedestrian bridges either end hooking in. We just took off a little bit of a stub of this great big road that was there, and that runs underneath, scooches round, and comes into there. So I'm hoping that very quickly the trains will sort themselves out, and very quickly some people will start to use this. So we'll keep our eyes on this for the moment. I'm wondering whether we're going to start getting to see people parking in here as well, which would also show that they're quite happy to drive here. Let's keep an eye on if we see anybody walking over. Oh, and do you know what else this has got? It's got a subway interface that we can add at the front here, and we know we've got our subway that runs through here. Could we do some sort of cheeky addition to that as well? Let me see what I can work out. Well, you know what I did? I did a cheeky little loop in there. So anybody using that one can hop on and come around here like a little shuttle and then get on the train to go to various other parts of the city. I think that would be a fantastic addition. I'm yet to see anybody walking over. Definitely got that one hooked up over there. Definitely got that one hooked up over there. Some people are driving down here, which is fantastic. Let's speed that up a bit. So some people are happy to use it, which is good. It might take a while for the figures here to jump up. Let's make parking free. 109% efficiency. Some passengers waiting. The subway line, that is one vehicle. Yeah, that is going to be free. There we go. And then the train line, they are just whatever they were before. Excellent. Aha, a few minutes have gone past and we do have some people walking over, taking the train and the subway. And also, if we zoom out a little bit, just to sort of help these people get around, I've added a new little bus route that loops around, goes back on itself, comes over here, and goes back and does a little loop going backwards and forwards just to try and bring some more people over. I'm just waiting for a bus to turn up and then we'll see how many people have done that. Oh, and people are driving over here to turn around. Excellent. Here we go. First one turning up. Really hoping there's lots of people in there that are going to jump out. Yes, excellent. That is what we want to see. Right, going to leave that running for a bit. And hopefully we've dealt with that traffic hotspot, or mass transit hotspot, I should say. I think this one is going to be a tough nut to crack. Maybe it just needs a little bit more time to run so we can really get those trips down. But already we do our comparisons. We'll just put over the screen the before and we've got the after on here. So our demand hotspots before, 7,500 trips, 6,800, 5,800, 5,200 odd. Now is down to 2,100, 1,800, 1,400, 1,400. So I think overall that's pretty good just looking at those 4 or 5 hotspots. So yeah, fantastic mod. I'm loving it. Well, I absolutely think those 2 tools are going to be invaluable for fixing this city up. We're well over 700,000 up to like 715,000 now, which is brilliant. And there's so much more yet to do. So if you want to see me continuing on this, then please leave a like, please subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And also a big thank you to all of my patrons. You can see their names scrolling up the screen right now. And a big special thank you to my 3 latest patrons, Bob Thomas, Darrell Davis, and Kyle Rinn. Thank you so much for your support over there. If you want to check out my Patreon, there's a link below. It's free to have a look, see what's going on, and then whatever you decide to do after that is entirely up to you. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Thank you very much for your continued support, and I will see you all very soon for the next one. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.